Story number 1. We Are Humans, written by Pepperlone. Never forget the humans. They were one of the kindest, if not the kindest species in the galaxy. Yes, there were some bad apples, to borrow their own idiom, among them, but there were no species who were so kind, polite, friendly, and altruistic as the humans. Each and every one of us had been touched by them. From helping planets recover from calamitous disaster, to saving a species from extinction due to a pandemic, to brokering peace amongst factions who were ready to go all out. Our debt to humanity was beyond repayment. Then they proved their altruism to an ultimate degree when they ended the invasion of the Dark Swarm. All of their colonies banded together to bait the Dark Swarm to the humans' home system, fighting the invaders with everything they got, so fiercely that the Swarm decided to focus all of their forces in that system. And then, the humans purposely detonated Sol, annihilating the Swarm and saving the galaxy, fully realizing that they themselves would be wiped out as well. It is a price worth paying. I still remember their ambassador's final words. They gladly gave up their lives for others. We lost good friends, and we mourned for cycles. We vowed that we would always remember them. But words, not just words. Today, we put words into actions. Today, we will recontinue the altruistic deeds of the humans by reinstating the organization, the Interstellar Red Cross. Today, we are launching the first 3 Mercy fleets, with more to come. Fleets of hospital ships, first responder ships, constructor ships, crewed by the best and brightest of individuals who have decided to dedicate their lives for others. Today, we'll stop calling ourselves the Karathi, the Simulars, and the Harunga, the Extru and the Belbits, and all other species that comprise this new organization, too numerous to list in this short speech. Today, we call ourselves humans, and we are here to help. From the speech of Secretary General Bartoxi Renholder of the Interstellar Red Cross, former Admiral of the Karathi Imperial Navy. End of story. Story number 2. Mimic, written by Stumpy Jim. Entering through the portal in the great dungeon of Fail, the party of adventurers, composed of an elf, a dwarf, a lizardman, and a halfling, entered with weapons raised, arrows knocked, and spells humming in their hands. The world around them flashed and swirled, screaming and wailed, burned and chilled, sending them on for almost aeons, stuck in the ever-expanding tunnel between worlds. Then the door opened, a bell rang, and they greeted by smiling humans wearing strange yellow aprons, on strange yellow shirts with a bright yellow hat. It was all the same uniform, as they all had strange insignias that looked to be a big M with eyes on the top of each arch. Hello, fine customer of the multiverse, the cheerful blonde man greeted, waving a hand with 3 fingers missing. Welcome to Mimic Burger. How may I take your order? The party of adventurers glanced at each other, murmuring their confusion at the strangely clean and sleek environment, with seats of yellow and tables of red. But be that a lich, the dwarf pointed his battle axe at undead sorcerer, sipping a milkshake. We must sleep. No, the blonde man shook his finger, frowning slightly. This place is specially enhanced by technology, disallowing violence in the restaurant. The dwarf ignored the man's warning and tried to smote the undead lord, only for it to clang in the air. See? The blonde man grinned knowingly. No violence here. So, the halfling began, as the dwarf grumbled and returned to his companion's side. What is this place? Well, this is Mimic Burger, the best fast food restaurant in the multiverse. All the humans wearing the uniform said in universe. Fast food? The elf asked, raising an eyebrow. Yes, fast food, the blonde man nodded. We make it fast, we give it to you fast, and you eat it fast. Sounds convenient, the lizard man put in, looking at the menu. Why yes, we strive to be the very best, the blonde man laughed. The dwarf puffed. Do you serve ale? Sorry, but we're a family restaurant and thus cannot serve alcohol to minors. The blond man paused and then looked down at the dwarf with a frown. Even if they are very hairy individuals. The dwarf began to raise his axe before the elf stopped him with a hand. Now, tell me, how much will this cost? Well, considering your world, we will primarily deal in copper coins, the black-haired woman behind the counter answered before the blond man could speak. Really? The halfling furrowed his brows. That's pretty cheap for the best restaurant in the multiverse, don't you think? Not at all. The black-haired woman laughed, her hair falling back to reveal a half-bitten ear. All right, I will order them, the lizard man said as he looked at her food items. I will have the mimic nuggets with large mimic fries and, what's that drink? Lemonade, sir. Okay, that please, the lizard man confirmed. Regular or sugar-free? Sugar-free. The woman tapped on a strange metal box, then lit up with numbers. That'll be 10 coppers, please. The lizard man rummaged through his pouch, producing a small handful of copper coins, stamped with the king's visage. The woman took the coins, then pressed something into a metal box, causing it to jolt open. Thank you, sir, she smiled, before turning her attention to the other adventurers. May I take your orders? The elf and the dwarf each gave an uneasy glance. Can I get the halfling said, leaning on the counter and looking up at the menu. The imitar polo. So, you want the mimic chicken? The blond man chimed in with a glad smile. Oh, is that what it means? The halfling huffed and raised his eyebrows knowingly. I'll guess I'll have one of those then. Do you have salad? The elf asked, ignoring the scowl on the dwarf's face. Do you want the strawberry and mimic salad? The woman asked back with a smile. Sure, the elf said. That. Sir, would you like to order? The blond man asked after ringing up the halfling. The dwarf harumphed. Giving me the mega whopper mimic, with chips and whatever you have closest to giving me a human heart attack. So, a super ultra deluxe quintuple espresso shot mimic coffee? Yes, the dwarf nodded, having no clue what the human said, but pretending otherwise. That. After having ordered, the adventurers stood to the side and awaited their turn. They stood there for all but 1 minute before they saw 4 trays of food placed on the counter. Here are your meals, the woman and man smiled at them. Wow, this looks pretty good considering how fast it came to us, the elf said suspiciously, poking a fork at a crisp, red-looking tomatoes and strawberries. Why put fruit in a salad? I know, the dwarf poked his paper cup that was hot from liquid inside. Do any of you know what the human was babbling on about? No, the halfling shook his head, looking at perfectly cooked piece of chicken with his side of rice. I am not sure even the language I've ever heard before or seen. Well, we might as well enjoy this fine feast, the lizard man shrugged, reaching out for his drink. Before any of the 4 could begin eating, they heard a blood-curdling scream coming from the table behind them. All of them prepared their weapons, swung around and stared at the greater demon, howling in pain and clutching their arm. His hand was missing and oozing with a fiery blood. Below the table was a massive burger with eyes and maws of gnashing teeth, having slurped up some fingers. What is that? The dwarf shouted, ready to lift his axe to the strange creature cowling on the table. It's a mimic, the halfling shouted, ready to shoot off a spell from his finger. Kill it, the lizard man roared, swinging his sword at the creature, only for the blade to clang again. No, it's fine, the demon ground out, bearing through the pain. It was worth the risk. The risk? All the adventurers asked in gaping mouths. Oh, you didn't know, the red-haired woman said, coming up to the table to clean up the blood. This is Mimic Burger. Is it alive? I don't know, is our motto. Wait, the elf pushed forward, staring with worry at the employee. Are you saying the food will attack us? No. The ginger shook her head. There's a roughly 7% chance that the food item is a mimic. How does that happen? The halfling asked curiously. Well, we use ancient magic cooking slabs that cook and prepare all the food perfectly, the ginger explained. There is a chance that the food item might be turned into a mimic and try and attack you. That sounds absolutely ridiculous, the dwarf shouted. Who in the bloody hell would ever risk getting attacked by every time they eat? To be fair, the food is fantastic. The lich from the table over entered the conversation. I mean, I don't have a tongue, and yet I know that this is the best beef that I have ever eaten. Cheap, too, the demon agreed, biting back the pain and losing his hand. The adventurers stared at their food and drinks for a time, wondering if they should dare touch them, and with a risk of being mutilated. Well, I can always go back to the clergy and get my fingers restarted. The dwarf shrugged before grabbing a steel steaming coffee and popping the lid. All of the other adventurers stared in shock and awe as the dwarf drank it all down. That was amazing! The dwarf yelled, grabbing the massive burger and chomping into it, then swallowing with a joyful tear rolled down his cheek. It's beautiful! The others began to eat, with one of the strawberries snapping at the elf's fork. A small bundle of chips bit at the lizardman's finger, and the halfling saw some of the rice move like an army of ants. All of them agreed, however, that it tasted amazing. What an insane idea, the elf said. Then the party left through the door. I know, the halfling agreed. Only humans would come up with such a thing. Good food, though. The dwarf laughed and patted his full belly. Let's come here again. I love the satisfied customer, the blonde man smiled. Grup, the slab cook swore. Did you lose another finger? The black-haired woman asked, peeking around back to see the man wearing a full suit of mail, holding a spatula in a hand. No! The man shouted, showing a bundle of chicken nuggets dangling from his crotch. I told you I need a codpiece! End of story. Just a quick shout out to the T5 peeps. Bob the Dragon, Cat Crab Lobster, Data Magnet, Dark Machine, Bezic, Try Again 95, Fudic Yol, Astrea the Dreamer, Caspar Arnholtz, Cam Maxwell, Athelia, Meridian 117, and Jordan Bucksmorm. Thank you very much. And that, my friends, concludes this video. I hope that you enjoyed. There are links down below, both to support this channel and for the author of this fiction. Anyways, I hope you all have a fantastic one, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.